My cousin Edward, with his dying breath, confessed a terrible truth. He, his mother, and his two brothers were murderers. That secret has haunted me ever since. And tonight, I'll tell you his story in his own words. It began on a cold winter evening. Edward had just stepped off the bus, his bag heavy in his hand, when he turned down his street. That's when he saw her. She was sitting up there, on the roof, right on top of the old water tank, her long gray hair blowing in the wind, her chin resting on her knees. Even from that distance, her eyes locked onto his. And then came that smile. A smile that froze his blood, a smile that promised disaster. He rushed inside, but worse waited for him. His little boy, Daniel, lay on the bed groaning, his head wrapped in bandages. His wife sat beside him, cold and unbothered. And Edward knew. He always knew. Because every time that spirit appeared, tragedy followed. You see, Edward had grown up in that very house, his parents, his brothers, his uncle and aunt, all under one roof. His Aunt Margaret. She had no children of her own, but she loved Edward and his brothers as if they were hers. She clothed them, fed them, held them when they cried. But his mother... Oh, she was cruel. She mocked Margaret's empty arms, whispered that her childlessness was a curse. And over time, bitterness poisoned that home. Then came death. Edward's father died, his uncle too. Aunt Margaret was left with nothing but grief. She demanded her share of the shop, her rightful half. But Edward's mother spat in her face, and one night, one terrible night, Edward, just a boy of 20, and his brothers, still teenagers, followed their mother's orders. They held down Aunt Margaret while their mother pressed a pillow over her face until she stopped breathing. They carried her to the roof, pushed her from the edge, and told the world she slipped. And everyone believed them. But from that night onward, the curse began. The shop crumbled, sickness grew, accidents never stopped. And every time before disaster struck, Aunt Margaret appeared, sitting on the water tank. White dress, long gray hair, that terrible, knowing smile. Only the guilty could see her, Edward, his brothers, and their mother. No one else. Years passed. Edward married, had children. But happiness never entered that house again. His proud mother, the woman who killed her own sister-in-law, slipped one day on the same roof, broke her back, and spent her last years paralyzed in bed. And then came the prayers. Edward's wife begged to bring a pastor, to bless the home, to chase the darkness away. The family gathered. Hymns were sung. The house felt alive again. Until footsteps sounded on the stairs. Every head turned, and there she was, Aunt Margaret, the same white dress, the same smile, only this time everyone saw her, her eyes fixed on Edward's mother. The smile widened. And in that moment Edward's mother stiffened, her head tilting lifelessly to the side. She was gone. And Aunt Margaret, she vanished with her, never to be seen again. You see, when you wrong the innocent, you may bury them in the ground, but their spirit may never let you rest.